Well, hello everybody. How's everybody going? See if anybody comes in the chat room in a bit. But I got some interesting news. Troy did a video on the counting of the items in the chest. Great video, very understanding. Even for a person like me, it's very knowledgeable and it's all correct. If you do not listen to Forrest Fenn and what he wrote in The Thrill of the Chase, and if you pay attention to the other blogs or other people's ideas, and if it didn't come to from Forrest's mouth, sorry, I got a real bad cold. If it didn't come from Forrest's mouth, it's probably not true. But anyway, let's go to the inventory count. Okay, he does not mention in Goldenmore at all how many coins there was in an inventory box, but go to Goldenmore and you probably find the biggest clue that's out of the whole book. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, we're going to go to Goldenmore, page 130, inventory. There's 254 rubies. Now you have to count with me, guys. We got 254. We have one bracelet. We got one ring, one large emerald, and six emeralds. So we got a total of 63. And then we have the bracelet. I mean, not the bracelet, I'm sorry, the ring. No, let me get this inventory right. I have it here, I'm sorry. I had the paper backwards. Let's start this over again. We got two nuggets, 254 rubies, 254 rubies, 6 emeralds, 2 set line sapphires, and 1 small silver bracelet. So we got 254 plus 6 plus 2 plus another 2 and a 1. And when we add up them numbers, because them are numbers that he mentions, 254, 6, 2, 2, and 1. Not O-N-E 1, but like 1, like that's on the clock. Like, you know how you got I as 1? There's your extra 1 that gets 265. So we have 265 when we add them up. Remember, he built it like an architect, so he inventory each item. Them are legit. 254 rubies, 2 nuggets, placer nuggets, 6 emeralds, 2 saline sapphires, and 1 small silver bracelet. So that's 265. If you take 265, mention, and now you go into Too Far to Walk book, and if you go to page 265 in the book, it has a picture of the Rocky Mountains. Forrest said it's not going to help you much at all. It's just a map of the Rocky Mountains. Well, technically, there's a page number to that, which is 264. The same numbers, when you add them up to the Thrill of the Chase, which is 265. Now, it's kind of funny how we had a lot of opposites going on. We got 265 in inventory. We have 265 that's in Too Far to Walk. Coincidence? I don't think so. There's your one clue that probably a lot of people miss. And a lot of people will say, well, why does that matter? Why does 265 matter in Too Far to Walk? Well, because 265 is the same number that is in the Thrill of the Chase when you add up the inventory. And there, when you got to add the numbers up, he gave you numbers right in front. And a bracelet, and he used I as bracelet, that I had put the bracelet. I like the numeral 1. So 265 and 265 We have page 265 that has the map. We have 265 that's inventory. There's your first crack of the clue. I think if somebody cracked that, you can figure out the rest yourself. The warm water halts and the cannon and taking the cannon down is all one spot. The rest of the clues you will have to travel to. And information that I had that's in front of me is a lot to go on. Now, I can't put this all in one video, but warm water halts and cannon down is in the same location. You have to travel into home ground. To put in the home ground, you have to travel to. But don't stop at the home ground. I'm just telling you that right now until I get the rest of them. I have it in front of me, but I got to present it better. To put in the home ground, don't put your car there. Go past the home ground. That's all I have to say for now. I wish people would have came in, but I don't know. Nobody talking. But we have a 265 that's in the book. We have 265 that's in Too Far to Walk. A mirror image? I would say so. If you're not mirroring this poem, you're never going to find warm water halts. And Jack, I'm calling you out, buddy. You didn't find that 9-mile hole, man. Did not find that 9-mile hole. You didn't find it nowhere near 9-mile hole. And you did find it out of the park. Very smart man. Very smart man. I would have kept my mouth shut too where I put it. I know Canopy of Stars. I know the bluff. Forrest said he goes in when he goes fishing, he goes into a bluff. I hope you really listen to this, Jack, because it wasn't found in 9-mile hole. That box was not found at my 9-mile hole. I will meet up with you anytime you want. I will meet up at any. I know the family don't know. I know that for a fact. The family doesn't know where it was at. When I say facts, I'm telling you facts. 2 people knew where that box was. Rest in peace, Forrest. Jack, you know where you found it, man. And you know Sarah didn't want nothing to do with it where it was at. She didn't want to make that call because it wasn't up to her. I would have kept my mouth shut too in a way if I was Sarah. Just letting you know there's more to it than everybody thinks. So enjoy this ride because I'm going to that spot. Not telling when, I'll be going to that spot. I will take pictures. And I will call out Jack Stoof. If he denies these pictures, then we got something really wrong. I'm not trying to expose Forrest Fenn's special spot. But you're right, Jack. You had to figure out Forrest's special spot. He loved fishing at Yellowstone, but that was not his favorite spot. No, it's not. So all you guys that are out of the Yellowstone area, all your south could be right. You all could have been next to the epoxy item that led to that treasure. So nobody's wrong in this chase yet. Pay no bets, like Forrest Fenn said. Don't pay no bets. Jack, I'm telling you this, man. You didn't figure out them clues. You found something else that led you to that treasure box, man. You did stumble on it. You know you don't got the 9 clues, man. Because 8 of your clues wasn't in the national park. But your 9th clue is not in the national park. That's all I'm going to say. And just call me out, man. Because I could walk you through this book piece by piece right now and tell you where his exact spot is. And if you don't have where warm water halts, fucking you don't got nothing. I didn't have nothing in my other spots at all. Realizing it wasn't wasting my time. I had fun. I gained knowledge. I don't want to spill no beans at all. It's too early. I'm not going to ruin it for Shiloh if Shiloh got something coming out. But it's very hard to keep a secret. I agree with Forrest. But the secret spot, people could go to it. It's not going to ruin it. You know what's going to ruin it, Jack? If you tell them where it was. That's going to ruin it. You take my word for it, or you don't. I got a lot of time to think. Lots of time. But your warm water halts. Candy's right. Ben's right. Your warm water halts leads into your canyon in the same spot. But people had cracked the first 2 clues, and Joe right past it. He's right. He's absolutely right. Because it's only one road. If you don't stop at that stop area, you went past the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9 clues. And if Forrest did tell you to home up bound, Forrest is right. You go straight to it. Mentally, physically, we'll go straight to it. I would not give out the home up brown. Not right now. In case Shiloh's writing something, I have no idea. I'm going to respect the man. But I would love for the man to somehow email me if it's something that's not supposed to be said. I mean, it takes a lot of nerve to come on here with the information I have, but Troy is right. The inventory count matters. It matters a lot. Remember before I said that little saying, oh, tell me not, and no for numbers. Numbers are very important. They do it in your face many a times. They do it in your face. The stick that's in the treasure box was there, and it was put by Forrest Fenn. It wasn't put by Jack. Jack's lying. Guarantee you. Don't know why would he lie for it, in case it's a bigger story and he was supposed to keep his mouth shut. But that stick did not just fall in there. I could guarantee you that stick didn't fall in there. Can Rudy found that stick that was in that box? Impossible. The box was never a 9 Mile hole. That stick is bullshit. I'm calling it out right now. Forrest Fenn's a fraud? Nah. Did them guy play tricks on you? Hell yeah, he did it to me. He did it to 300,000 searchers. There's no substitution when it's in his poem. Don't mess with his poem. He's right. If you can't figure it out where warm water halts, I mean, it's difficult to nail that clue down where warm water halts, not having that book. It's probably nearly impossible. But by having that book, there is a warm waters halt. The Blazes is in that book. You got to search a little bit deeper to find the blades. It's tough. It's very tough. Remember, Forrest said blazes could be many things. The blades could be white on a lot of things, even if a water is falling. Even if water's falling at rapid pace, it could be white. The blades could definitely be white. I don't care about Jack said he didn't know that the blades could be destroyed so early during the chase. It's not destroyed. He don't want you to go to that spot. That's why he's saying it's destroyed. Because that spot's ever revealed, it'll definitely look bad on him. Because of the area that it's in. So I see. You know, if you don't, you know, Jack, you could have gave out them 9 clues, but you were scared because 8 of them clues was in that Yellowstone National Park, but the 9th clue is not in that park. And as a kid, I know why you were scared. You didn't figure out the first 9. You never started at warm water hots. You back engineered it, man. You went straight to the spot. That was smart. Very smart of you to do that. You back engineered it. You knew what the blaze was right off the bat. That's why you passed the warm water halts. That's why you passed that canyon down. The first couple clues is in the first 2 stanza. You backdoor engineered it. You definitely could. You could backdoor engineer it, but it's very hard because you have to start where warm water's halt, or you could never find the ending of the spot. Because you could be at the ending of the spot and be right next to it and don't even know it. And Homer Brown is not a fish. It's nowhere near it. There's no river crossing. There is a river crossing, but you don't gotta wade it. There's a bridge that goes over there. You don't gotta get wet. If you had an option to take a bridge or go across the river, what would you do? You think Forrest is more likely to cross the bridge than take a chance of that backpack falling. So 9-mile hole. Why? Because he got 9 clues. It's not the 9 clues, man. Not the clues. Will the spot ever be revealed? No, it's not going to be revealed because it's in a place that's very difficult to get to, but not impossible. And you don't got to pay no money to get in. You don't got to pay a nickel to get in where the spot's at. Everything else that has to be involved. Once you crack, I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you that inventory is going to matter at the end of the whole ball game here. You got 265 counted. You got 265 and too far to walk. Once you crack that clue, if you're good enough, and there's people that are really good enough in the chase, trust me, it's not a rabbit hole. It's not a rabbit hole. It got nothing to do with other countries. It had nothing to do with nothing of that. There's not a chapter that's in the book at all. So we're not supposed to read the book from the beginning to end like a child does, because a book has chapters that goes one to whatever it is. It's your job as the reader to find out where you start. And Forrest told you really how to start. The only information I'm going to give you, and this is it, I'm going to give you. It's the rest of it's on your own. Start. Let me get that word chapter right in the word. You have to start on page 23. Starting the learning curve. There's your first chapter. The rest of it is on your own. You start the learning curve. That's your first chapter. Then you have to find your next chapter that leads to that learning curve. And by the end of all the chapters, the last chapter that you should be on is My War for Me. And then, only then, you will know where the treasure is at. The two most important things to start. Your first chapter is the learning curve. It's your job to read it. It's for your imagination to understand. The author. It's time to understand Forrest Fenn, not other YouTubers, not me, not the 300,000 people. We had to listen to what Forrest said. If we didn't listen to what Forrest Fenn said, like he said, it most likely wasn't true. So shout out to Troy with his wonderful research. It broke a lot of the clues open for me. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate it. And if you guys want to add the numbers up, again, we got 2 nuggets, 254 rubies, 6 emeralds, and emeralds, 2 saline sapphires, and a small silver bracelet. If you add them up by numbers, you got 265. Look up page 265, Forrest Fenn. It will come up Too Far to Walk. The clue is not the map that he shows you on there. The clue is the page number that's 265. If you could relate that number 265 somewhere in your solve, come talk to me. If 265 is in your solve, come talk to me. But I can at least rest my head and tell myself I know it was in that national park. Because once you crack their first clue, once you crack their first one, like Forrest said, if you crack the first one, you're probably there. Like people cracked the first 2 clues and didn't know where they were at. He's right. They didn't know where they were at, so they went home. They took the same road to go wherever they went to get back home, because there's only one road that leads to this specific place. And this place has a road that has many, many potholes. And Forrest Fenn, what I heard and what I saw the videos, people were pouring water in the street for Forrest Fenn because West Yellowstone had a bunch of potholes. Well, the area that's where it's by has a long stretch road that I wouldn't say take a car to. I would say you have to take a 4x4 to get to, because you don't want to tear up your car. I'm not saying it's dangerous, but it's like the old time days where you had the rocks on the bottom, and then people just started laying more what is it called, tar, just to go over it. It's what kind of road we're dealing with. And the area that you got to go in is that it's no money at all. You could go there without no problems. No problems at all. People do go there, but they're not looking for a chest. They go for the beauty of the scenery. So I just wanted to come on real quick and just do a little video. But I'm letting you know, as a community, look at 265, count them. That's on page. What page is that in Golden Moor? So I could lead you. Oh, Golden Moor 130. So if you go to 130, Golden Moor, count the inventory, count it. You should get 265. Take your 265. Go in too far to walk. Grab your book. 265 is also the map that's in too far to walk. Forrest said it's not going to help you much, the map. It's just the map of the Rockies. But that's not what's matter here. The matter is the page number. There's your clue. Hello, Chester Retriever. How you doing? Not too much. I appreciate you stopping by. I just wanted to come on late and get this done and over with so people could actually crack more of these clues. I would not give out my salve yet. I'm doing all right. I won't give out the rest of my salve because I do not know what Shiloh has going on. I don't know if it's separate from this story, what he's doing, but I'm not going to ruin it for that young man. Yeah, I'm 40 years old, and I'm pretty sure I'm older than him, so I could call him young man. But Shiloh, if Shiloh would like to talk, or he doesn't care about the area, that's cool. I don't care. I don't care either way. I think he's a cool guy. I don't want to get him involved, but I'm just saying. I like to show a picture to him about the spot. Because he want to know, but I just would like to know, has he ever been in this area in his life? Forrest Finn's right. Two could keep a secret if one's dead. Remember that Forrest was supposed to throw his body on the treasure box, and that was it. The only two who keep the secret is the treasure box and Forrest Fenn. And if Forrest Finn's dead, the secret only holds with the chest. Now that the chest has found somebody, two could keep a secret again. The chest and the finder. What do you think about the 5 fake coins? I think the 5 fake coins is a clue. I think it's a big clue. The 5 fake coins of wherever the 5 fake coins is a clue to where the treasure location was at. The 5 clues, it's a location where it's at, the 5 coins. And that's what I believe. The stick that Rudy found, or Jack said that he don't know how it got there. That stick was put in by Forrest Fenn for a purpose. And if you found a stick and Forrest said, well, what's in the box? And you would tell him there's a stick, he would have known that his box would have been found. Why? Because what's the dumbest thing you could put in a box is a stick. Nobody's ever going to say there's a stick in there. That's how Forrest Fenn would have known that somebody didn't get a hold of his box. Is by that stick. Because that stick, and you're going to laugh at it, but that stick is very important to the chase. just like a fishing pole. I mean, there's a lot more that I can't get into because it will nail the location, but 5 is very important to the chase. How's it going, Redneck? No, it does not include the fakes. No, it does not. Not at all. The 265, we had 2 nuggets, 254 rubies. We got 6 emeralds. We got 2 sapphires and 1 small silver bracelet, which adds up to 265. I cannot talk about that right now, about the coins that as a mouth, but you have a good idea on page 99. If you talk about page 99, yes, page 99 is very important. Page 99, moisturize. What about the coins as the mouth? That's funny. Wow. Let me put it this way to you, moisturize. I don't know who you are, or who, man or woman, but page 99 is how you crack where warm water halts is at. I'm not saying no more. Page 99. What about the coins as a mouth? Page 99. If you look at it, it will crack where warm waters halt. Once you figure out the 265, how it relates to the inventory to Too Far to Walk, which is the map is on, you will crack where warm water halts. And I mean, I've been on here 32 minutes. Yes, Redneck Express. I won't say no more about that, but I'm going to say Robert, page 99, down arrow, and the cannon points to it. Correct. 101%. Which you can't have 101%, but I'm adding that 1%. Redneck Express. March your eyes. Same thing. March your eyes on the right connection. Ben Napple, he's not in here, but he's in the right connection. There is a key word in a poem. And I'll tell you what the key poem is. Ben Napple already hit it on the head. The key word is drawing. DRAWING, drawing. That's your key word. And the other clues will help you along with the word drawing into your salve. It depends where your spot is, Redneck Express. But I like that. But there's a lot of places you could look at the edge and look quickly down, and it's like, and it's too far down. But you had the right idea. Let me see again. It's not in the poem. Okay, maybe in yeah, drawing. The end is ever drawing nigh. Yes, it is. The end is ever drawing. DRAWING. Yes, it is. How is it not funny enough? Okay, that's fine. Finny, that's fine. I have no problem with you saying drawing, a different drawing. There you go, Redneck Express. You're on the same page. I can't tell you where to, not place for the meek. You're getting really too damn close to it. 8 golden key nuts. I can't tell. The key word is drawing. You draw playing cards. You could draw when you draw. Like you drawing. Draw has a lot of meanings to it. But drawing, you could draw something as an architect. You got to build on it. Well, yeah, no place for the meek. I mean, it's no place for the meek is you're not supposed to be in that area, so get out of that area. You went a little bit too far. No place for the meek means you went a little bit too far. You don't belong in that area. So you went a little bit too far. Whatever your spot is. I don't know where your spot's at. But Troy has Troy has he kind of nailed it to like the inventory. And then when I found the drawing 9. Yeah, drawing 9, exactly. Drawing. But anyway, Troy had the inventory and we counted up. We got 265, and Too Far to Walk, and 265. If you have something in yourself that has a 265, yes, 9 is left. Correct. Not 9 is left. So imagine, draw yourself something that's left and right. Just like if you had 2 trails, a left trail and a right trail. Take the left one. That's either close or left and probably both. Correct, John. I agree with you on that. Left at the Y. Don't take the right. Take the left. And not by driving either. It has nothing to do with driving. When you get to your location that has a Y, you better have a Y in your location because you got to go left. I'm going to the spot this summer. I'm not telling you when, but I'm going to the spot in the summer. I'm going to have tons of pictures. Yes. Glen of Freedom, yes. Whoever you are, yes, that is 101% accurate. You could crack this poem. Anybody could crack this poem in here. It's hard. But remember, Forrest said, it feels like I'm talking in circles. Each, let's just put it this way. Each clue draws you a bullseye. Each clue. So you have a round, like a cap. You know, you have a cap. You have your first clue, second clue, like a wristwatch, not a wristwatch, but like a pocket watch. Fork in the road, yes, Finny. There is a fork in the road. But fork in the road, like how, on a trail, or fork on a road as driving? Because driving, there's no fork there. Lane is not an issue either. Where it's put at, lane's not an issue. That's why nothing happened. Nothing happened in the court case. Lane is not an issue. There's a lot of smart people in the chase. Tons of them. Finny, John, awesome. And your thoughts, your questions. I mean, you got questions. I don't have all the answers because I haven't even gone boots on the ground there yet. But I have a Google map the whole area, and it's a special spot, man. It's for a special spot. Remember, he was in love with Yellowstone, but he was that ain't his favorite spot. They're wow. You know what? That's why Forrest didn't want to answer that question in the interview about the roundabout. He said he don't want to answer that question, but I'll answer it. There is a roundabout. I won't say how many, but there's a couple roundabouts. Yeah, remember when Forrest said how many people came to Santa Fe and they didn't know why the number went up? He knew the numbers went up because of the chase. Just like Yellowstone, the numbers went up because of the chase. God is good. God is good, man. I don't throw religion on here because I'm not a religious type of person, but God's good. I'm just a kid from Chicago, man. That's all I am. You give me an opportunity and I'll crack it. If somebody slips, I'll find it. I'll find a slip up really quick. That's what I do, man. I'm like that. When Troy Barlow, and I give him credit for his video that he did put out today with the number countings, once he hit that, when he hit that inventory and I counted 265 over 1,000,000 times, I mean 1,000,000 times. I had to sit here till I knew I was right. I cannot go on camera thinking I'm going to be a jackass. That ain't me. But if I count 265 and I go to Too Far to Walk on page 265, that's not a coincidence that them numbers that Forrest mentions in Goldenmore on page 130, it's not a coincidence, man. Because that will last 1,000 years, that book, with that same number, 265. No matter what I say or any of you YouTubers say, 265, 17 means a lot. But I'll give you a clue, John. You know what's better than 17? Remember, Forrest was 17 years old when he was in high school. He talks about being 17 years old. Doing all right, brother. 17 is a good number because you should be your first 9 clues should be 17 miles radius of your location, like a target. If your area is not 17 miles with the first 9 clues, your spot's wrong. But I'll give you one better, 16.8. Don't mind me. I'm just getting a glass of water. Throat hurts. And the weather crappy out here. 17 is very important. And you know what? I want to give a shout out to, man, Davio, man. Davio always had playing with the numbers, you know. Davio, I can't tell you how I got 16.8, but it's close to 17. If I tell you 16.8 and how I got it, I'll crack the first 3 clues. You got the 1, which I'll tell you what, 16.8, I'll give you what number 1 is. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I don't want to be an asshole to Shiloh Wheeler. Your 16.8, the number 1 is where your warm water halts is. If it makes sense to you, but I can't go through more. Oh, Buffalo Bills, Allen. I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan. Lost 4 Super Bowls. I already know the story. So, yeah. But yeah, land is not an issue. Land is not an issue. The whole book, like I said, I'm going to start you off at the beginning where you're supposed to start. You got to go to page 23. Start learning the learning curve. Yeah, 23. I'm going to tell you, stick to page 23. Start learning the learning curve, the jump learning the curve, or whatever it is. It's too late at night. That's your first chapter. If you notice, the book got no chapters, so it's not supposed to be read from the beginning to the middle to the end like normal books do. They have chapters. You, as the reader, have to figure out what chapters you're supposed to start first. The first chapter you start first is page 23. You know what? I heard Candy talk about it yesterday, but I had said this in 2018. I just wasn't on YouTube. But I was probably the first one, but I don't care. I always thought that the real chest is in Detroit Museum. The reason why that we could get 4 angles of that treasure chest at that museum, but we couldn't take pictures of the whole treasure chest of Forrest Fenn. Why? Why was that locked? Why was that locked in a case where nobody could take pictures? All bets on the table. Everybody that has a solve right now, if you're, let's just put it this way, everybody's solve could still be right, because any of your ideas right now, this is what I'm saying. One of you that has an area and a search area could be a bell on a jar where you're at. So you all could be right. Because if you find a bell and jar, the autobiography, I don't know what's in it, but it probably will help you out in the long run if you find a bar or a jar, a bell or a jar. It probably would help you out. Settle no debt. I would not pay. I would even tell Jack, you know you didn't find a 9-mile hole, buddy. And I will walk across that river with you, man. And I'll tell you, you versus me. You tell me where your warm water halts, and I'll tell you where my warm water halts. And I bet you if I mention my warm water halts, you'd be scared. You'd be very scared. I'm sorry, Finny. No, but Finny, but don't give up. You could have a jar or a bell, bro. I'm not saying, you gotta remember, everybody was chasing a treasure chest. Maybe it ain't the chest that we were supposed to be chasing. Maybe a bell or a jar. Have you guys, any of you guys recognize that 265 isn't too far to walk? Have you guys opened up your book and looked at it? If you don't believe me, look at it. 265 and 265. We have the number 265. That's in too far to walk. 265's got some map. Now we got some shenanigans going on with 265. Well, not shenanigans, but we got 265 in the thrill of the chase. So it mirrors itself. We got 265 in too far to walk. We have 265 in the thrill of the chase. Something's mirroring itself. Like the scrapbooks with Forrest Finn's car with the mirror. You could see him on the opposite side of the car. The mirrors that was in the scrapbooks. He was taking a picture, left and right side, the mirror. 265 number of total that Forrest mentioned in Goldenmore. It mirrors too far to walk. I'm telling you. Merry Christmas. We got a lot of smoke and mirrors here. And it's not shenanigans. It's like, oh, somebody's pulling some bullshit. 265. I'm leaving, John. I'm just going to tell you this right now, man. I know what you're trying to do. It doesn't work on me. 265 is very important. And I'm not telling you it's a highway in Colorado or what it is. You're going to have to figure out what 265 is. You're going to have to figure out, like Forrest said, I'm not going to put an X on the map for you. There is no X on the map here. Remember, it's his secret place. No one knew at all. So he never went there with no one to his secret place. No one. Two could keep a secret if one dead, but he never mentioned who's the other person. Forrest might have written a poem for the jars, right, Shiloh? I don't know who he's talking to. Yeah, I know what you're doing, John. You know why? It took me so much fucking work to figure this out. That's why, you know what? To just give up an answer, like back in the day when you go in the back of the book and they had the answers, you just write them down. Because that's what I used to do. I'm like, I'm not going to figure out this whole damn thing. I'm just going to write it down from the back of the book. Because that's where all the answers were always in our books, the back of the book. The chapters, have you noticed there's no chapters in the book? So you got to start somewhere. And Forrest is telling you where to start. The learning curve. You got to get taught from the beginning, like first grade. Chapter 1, first grade. Chapter 2, second grade. And so on. I can't give you much more, but you got to think like a child. Give the book to a child. Don't give the poem to a child. Give the book to a child. And let them look at the pictures. And let them ask you questions about the pictures. Even if their questions are dumb, you got to think like a kid. And if you think like a kid, then you probably would know. That's why I don't want to burn Shiloh in his new book. Like, I want to talk to him on the side and be like, is there a possibility you do know? And he's like, if he say no, I'm telling you this right now, I do not know anything, then I would not do that to Shiloh right now. Because if he is going to give up the South, which I don't think he will, because he don't know it. Forrest said he never gave it to no one. So I don't believe that's what it's about. But I don't know. That's awesome. That's awesome. If that's what it is, awesome, but I don't think it is. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know about all that, man. I don't get in people's business and all that. That's just not me. It's cool and everything, but that's why I don't want to step on nobody's feet right now. But the treasure box was not. Land's not an issue. Forrest is right. Land's not an issue. Nobody could bother you where you were at. There ain't nothing illegal you got to do either. There's nothing illegal that you have to do to get the chest. You don't got to even walk in water. There's a bridge. You could take the bridge over. You don't need to walk. You don't got to walk the water that's there. I don't know what that means, Fenny. I don't know what any of that means, Fenny. I'm not clickbaiting because I don't got no subscribers. I don't care about subscribers. I just don't want to burn the kid. I'm 40 years old, man. And if I was working on something of the 9 clues, then who is me to step in? Vinny, I can't give you no more clues, but continental divide does have a big part of it. Continental divide is very important. Yeah, I got my dog actually 2 days ago. I picked him up at my friend's house. But I appreciate that, Idaho Buffalo. Really do. Oh. Yeah, I just wanted to come on because like I had information probably 2 days of this, but I had to add everything up and come on the computer the right way with the facts from the book. I'm not talking about the scrapbooks. I'm not talking about a treasure box. I'm talking about the clues that are in the book. Benny, I'm not saying no more. The continental divide goes a long way. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Luli. I appreciate it. Thank you, Luli. The continental divide goes a long way. I know it goes all the way from like Butte, Montana, because I was up there, way the hell up there, and the continental divide goes a long way. I think it goes even past like Isa Lake, that's in Wyoming. Well, I don't know, man. There's no chapters in this book, but you gotta figure out the first clue. You got to start somewhere in the book. Start learning, jump into the learning curve is the first clue, which is on page 23. There's your first chapter of your first clue. I told you, Glenna. 265. And we're not talking, he never said how many coins were in a box. He said he put coins in a box. So if he doesn't state a number, you're not supposed to write it down. If you read Goldenmore and follow it closely, like when he says 1 and 1, you add up the number 1, add up the 254, and when you're at the end of the page, you should be at 265. And 265 of the inventory is the same thing as 265 and Too Far to Walk. Forrest said there's only one clue that's in here, and it's not really a clue. It's the map of the Rocky Mountains, and he shows it. I don't got the book, but I've seen it. He shows it, and he brings it down. He's like, that's not going to help you much. Yes, it will. And number 265 will help you. I'm telling you this. Nick, if anybody in the chat room right now, 265 is the biggest clue, and that's why if that got cracked, the whole poem's cracked. That's why Forrest can't give you no clues, because if you crack one of them clues, it's like a chain link reaction. You're gonna hit each of the 9 clues. Bam, 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 bam. Over, done and over with. Remember, like bullseye. That's in Too Far to Walk. It's not really a clue, but bullseye. If you look at a bullseye, a target, it has round and around and around. Like if you're spiraling, like in an airplane, and you're not nose diving, but whatever that's going to, you're twirling. A target. Your first clue is the outside line. Second clue is the inner line. And then you go to inner line, and then you go to another inner line until you have your 9 clues. That's like a target that connects from 1 to 2 and 3 and 4. By your 9th clue, you should target an area that's not in Yellowstone National Park. Yeah, I think the one coin that he did, the one coin that he did take out is the rusted one, which I think he kept for himself, Jack Stu. He kept one and gave the rest to the auction house. In my opinion. In my opinion on that. I will use my opinion on that because I don't have facts. The only facts I got is whatever came out of this book that I got facts. Now, more than likely, I think Jack probably kept one gold coin for himself and said, I got to have something at the end of the chase. And it was probably the most expensive coin that was in it, right? I bet you it was. I don't know that for a fact. But the stick was not put in there by Jack Stoop, and it did not fall from a tree. That stick means something. Forrest Fenn will know that the treasure was found, because if somebody would call them and said, "I got your treasure chest here," he would ask you, "Well, what's in it?" And if somebody didn't mention a stick, then he knew you were bullshitting, because who would tell people if they found a stick in the treasure box? Wow. Is that a Spanish coin that he kept? Because if it's a Spanish coin, he cannot sell. That's pretty damn cool, Idaho Buffalo. I'm not here to blow smoke up you guys' ass. I'll be honest with you. I'm not here. I'm not gaining nothing. No. But Golden Moore, that's where you're gonna have to add up your numbers. The learning curve is the first chapter of the book. That's why there's no chapters. You're gonna have to figure out the chapters. People did for. I'm gonna tell you this. Forrest ain't lying. People cracked the first two clues and went right by it. They probably cracked the third one, but he didn't like he said, people probably cracked the third and fourth one, but he don't know that for a fact. But you could crack the first two very easy. Yeah, I heard about that. You crack the first two clues and easily drive right past it. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, I was a little bit hot. I'm right by a heater vent and it's blowing on me. Whew. So I hope you guys are all going to have a wonderful, actually Christmas coming up. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, but the funny part is, like I said, nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong in themselves. So if somebody say you're wrong and you're wrong and you're wrong, no, we all could be right. How can you all be right if you don't got the box? You all could have been close to a jar or a belt that Forrest put there and knew you put it there. So somebody could have been 15 feet from it. Somebody could have been 200 feet from the proxy item. One guy could be 100 feet from the proxy item. So we all could be right near a proxy item. Glenna Friedman, what do you mean write the map? What do you mean by that? The key word is drawing. Drawing. The other words in a poem will help you with the hints, but the clues are in the book that will help you with the hints that will lead you to your destination. He is right. But I like Troy a lot. I think he's a real good man. I think, I think he has a lot of good ideas. He's very well spoken. And we talked a little bit yesterday about things. And um, I said, I don't have, I didn't have the time to go in my book and look this up, Troy. Maybe you could do analysis of this. And when I watched his show, I'm like, damn, you were good, man. I'm like, this is professional and this is all correct. There's nothing that's false about anything about his video that he made today. It's not a coincidence. 265, 266, 265 in another book. You got to mirror. You're mirroring them. So first, you don't have to buy Too Far to Walk. That's not going to help you. He's right. It's not going to help you. All of them are just stories that are in there. It doesn't help you to the treasure location. The treasure location was only in the thrill of the chase. It never went into his other books. So the chess is all about that book. There's not a chess picture, I don't think, that's in the other books that he has. I can't confirm that. Merry Christmas. Appreciate it. Thank you. And 265 is only mentioned in Too Far to Walk. And also the thrill of the chase. So you got to mirror. Look at that 265. Really good. Find a location that has 265. And was it hard to find? Hell yeah, it's hard to find. It's not impossible, but it's hard. Troy missed that from FF himself, from his mouth. Then I believe that's how many. Then that's what it is. Then if it came from Forrest's mouth, I agree. It's correct. I still say the real chess is in Detroit Museum, and there was and whatever whoever found. I'm not saying that the stuff inside's fake at all, but I think the contents that was in it, not the contents in it. I mean the chess itself is not real. Nobody opened up knowledge already. Anyway, we don't know what it says in there. Nobody has opened it. Nobody opened it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. When Ford said he was not playing no games with this poem, and I don't mean to swear, but he ain't fucking playing games. Don't switch his poem around. Don't try to make warm on the bottom and the bottom on the top. Don't try to go in the middle of the poem. You better start where warm water halts. Honestly, just stay home and watch a football game or something, or go somewhere else because you're gonna have to lock down the first clue. I believe there's bells and jars out there that still got to be discovered by us. I believe that. I believe that we all could have a piece of this. Yeah, we all enjoy it, but you know what? I truly believe in my heart it's not going to be the 9 clues. And if it's the 9 clues, I'm not going to do that to it. I'm not going to do it at Shiloh, man. I'm not going to do it at Shiloh if it holds the 9 clues, because I'll come with my 9 clues next to Shiloh's and I'll have it out first before he has it. It ain't the 9 clues. There's no video of the 9 clues either. Of Forrest Fenn saying the 9 clues. I guarantee you it ain't. And the funny part about it is the place where the treasure's at. It's not in a dangerous place, guys. It's not. It's not in a dangerous spot. Yeah, the 9 clues will end it. Yeah, I agree. Remember the most important clue what Forrest said now is the most important one is the treasure box because you're holding it. I'll be right back. Give me a second. No, no, Forrest had to take the 2 trips because it was too heavy for him. But the person only has to take 1 trip to get it. You don't have to take 2 trips. Forrest took 2 trips because it was too heavy to do it all at one time. You sure it's 42 pounds and not 44? Idaho Buffalo? Because I'm pretty sure I heard a couple times that the chest was 44. You don't have to cross the river to get to the spot. You could cross a bridge. Remember, Forrest was supposed to buy a bridge, I think he said, with Sharp. He was supposed to do a bridge or something. The number 44 is very important too. 44 is very important. Yes, you do what? Of course, you are crossing the river if you're going over a bridge. Come Come on, Idaho Buffalo. Come on. He's right. You do cross, but you don't have to go in the water across to go over the bridge to cross it. Jack ain't stupid. You could go over the bridge, man. Remember to in the book what chapter is that? My War for Me. It shows a picture of a bridge where he's by a bridge. He's kneeling down with his uniform. Fenny. Fenny with his meek. Pretty good on that one, Fenny. You're reading the poem incorrect, Idaho Buffalo. No offense, but you're not reading the poem. You have 265. If you add them up, which you did your homework, which is pretty cool, Glenna Freeman, because I know you did your homework. So you must have the book, or you Google it like I did, and I came up with 265. No, actually, Troy did. I just did the counting off of Troy's, and it came up to 265. That's also in Too Far to Walk. So we just mirrored an image between two books. I don't believe that, Idaho Buffalo. I don't believe that. Idaho Buffalo. If he did tell him it, it's not 9 Mile Hole. It's not 9 Mile Hole if he did tell him the South. He blamed it. He lied to Copper Dan. If he told Copper Dan 9 clues was at 9 Mile Hole and inside the park, he's wrong. All the clues are inside the park, but the last one. That's why it was an armchair search. Because the last one is boots on the ground. You gotta be boots on the ground because Google Maps don't go that far down. Google Maps can't get that far down where the treasure is. It's impossible. Capo Bluffs to Holly's auction night. I don't know what that means. Thank you for everybody hanging out tonight with me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know what? I can't really afford Zoom right now. I don't have the money. I could do Zoom just like one-on-one. But if I could afford it, I would love to have a Zoom and talk to everybody. But just can't afford it right now, man. It's hard times. Nah, Freddie, that's funny. Yeah, he is. You made me laugh today. It's hard to make me laugh. Captain still be looking for that Marine. Yeah, you could look all you want and keep paying your money to National Park. Go ahead. Show me anything in the Thrill of the Chase that said Yellowstone was his place that he wanted to die. Show me anything in that book that mentions Yellowstone is where he would want to die. If it's not in a book, like he said, it's probably wrong information. Forrest Fenn said that to everybody. We got to follow the book because he's the one that wrote the book. The book is going to be around for the next thousands of years if it holds that long. I'm just saying it's going to be around that long, and whatever's in the book, it's going to have to be correct of where the treasure chest is at. Yeah, he's in love with Yellowstone, but he never wanted to die in Yellowstone. Full color, like he said, it brings attention to the book. Even though it brings attention to the book, doesn't mean like exactly, hey, this is where it's at because it's yellow and it's a Yellowstone. Nah, man, that's too easy. That's too easy. That's common sense. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but man, I'm trying to make it really like truthful. Yeah, if he mentions it, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna say this one time unless new people come in. One time. Yellowstone is not where the treasure chest is at. It's not. You can find all the clues in Yellowstone National Park, but it's the last one that's not in the park. And you don't have to go in the park. You could reverse engineer it. You could backdoor it. Let's just put it that way. You could go through the back door, except the front door. You could reverse engineer it. Like a backwards bicycle. Let's put it that way. A backwards bicycle. You could reverse engineer it to the place. You could backdoor it. Remember when Forrest was with Suzanne Summers and she's like, oh, is this the front? And he's like, what, it can't be the back? You could backdoor it. You don't gotta go through the front. You could go through the back door. Your first 8 clues will be in the park, and 9 clues will be out of the park. And it's a little bit common sense. If you look at when he said borders, focus on borders. If you focus on a border, you're gonna hit that spot. Trust me, you're hit that spot. You could reverse engineer that poem. If you reverse engineer it, you probably have a better chance finding it. But but if you backdoor it, you will not know where warm water halts is. Then you will just go right to the blaze, basically. That's why Jack ain't telling you the 9 clues because he backdoored it. He never started at warm water's hot. He didn't take it in the can down. He didn't go below the Homer Brown even. That's why he can't tell you the 9 clues. I can tell Jack the 9 clues. I would just tell the public that 8 of the clues are in the park and the 9th one's on by the border. So how's everybody doing anyway? Hope everything's going good with everybody. I just want to come here and talk and just tell you what I had and the inventory list that I had, and too far to walk. Like that's why Forrest, he said he ready to give you too much information, which he did. It seems like we were not getting it, and we were just talking too much on the blogs and this and that, but. Yeah, that's all I got is what I wanted to say tonight. Yeah, that's all I had to say. So, oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, but 2 Pacer Nuggets, 250 rubies, 6 emeralds, 2 Set Lion Sapphires, and 1 small silver bracelet. And if you see, it looks like it says it has I that's in it, but I is represented as 1, like a numeral 1. So you count it as the inventory. So when you counted 2, 254, 6, 2, and 1, you get 265 all day. And we know Forrest Fenn inventoried everything. The man put tags on all his items that he found and where he found it. There was a slip up. There was a slip up. The slip up happened. I'm going to tell you where the slip up happened. I'm not going to say you're going to have to figure out the slip up, but I'm going to tell you where the slip up came from. Lorraine Mills' interview. There's a slip up in it. I'm not going to tell you which one, what year it is, but I think there's 3 interviews, and one of them interviews has a slip up to it. And as he said in the missing Medium article, said he sold it. What are you talking about? What are you talking? I don't know what that means. Yeah, if you guys want to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, I appreciate it, because the more friends, the more merrier, the more people, the more we could crack this. All of us could crack this together right now. But I don't want to burn Shiloh. If Shiloh got something coming out that has the 9 clues, I'm not going to burn him like that, because he's writing the book, and that'd be kind of bullshit on me if I did that. But land's not an issue. That's why he could still be writing that book about where the treasure's at if he wants to, because land is not an issue. But I believe Jack got that one coin that's out of there. I believe that one coin's missing. He never mentions how many coins that he put in a treasure box at all in Goldenmore. He just mentions coins. He never mentions a number. Remember when Forrest said about he says life is about an empty dream, and he talks about numbers. There is no G. I don't know where these people came out with GPS solves either. There's no G. There's no GPS solve. That's bias. The stick was in that treasure box all along. Maybe Jack would have took the stick out of the box first and just took the picture. But Jack looks like he wants to play games that it fell off a tree and landed in the treasure box. That little stick, that twig, came out of the box. That twig that Rudy found is it's not the right area where the treasure box was at. So that I'm just letting you know, Rudy, right now. Be happy with the stick you got. Make money off of it. Do what you got to do with it. But it's not. That stick came from Diamond Mile Hole, but it ain't the location where the treasure was at. But you could have fun with the stick, Rudy. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but come on. The treasure box was not in no nook at all. To put, I'm just saying, you know, it's cool and everything. I mean, it's a good story, whatever. I mean, the ending's kind of crappy, but I just want to go one on one with Jack Stoof. Well, I can't do that now because it's gone with that. So the LLC got to know. So Jack ain't gonna say nothing. But I like to go one on one with Jack and be like, "You show me your 9 clues. This is my 9 clues right now." And I bet you Jack can't tell you the 9 clues unless Jack was told where to go to get it, and the person told Jack not the 9 clues, just to go there and go get it and forget about the rest of the clues. Right now, it doesn't matter. Just go to this spot and you'll find it. Jack Stoof could be the retriever, but he's not the finder or the solver. Oh, I have no idea. If you notice, like Too Far to Walk is part of the poem, and then you tell yourself like, okay, Too Far to Walk is you got one more halts, taking the cannon down, not far but too far to walk. Lorraine Mills even said, "Hey, that's part of your poem," and Forrest just stayed quiet about it. Toby called him out on it. Toby even told him about the Too Far to Walk. Forrest, can you tell us why Too Far to Walk is important to the audience? And Forrest said, I never said it was too important. And Forrest got a little rattled there when Toby told him that. Why is Too Far to Walk so important? He said, I never said it was important. But you also didn't say Forrest that, and I see why you did it. 265. But if somebody would have said, but Forrest, there's a page on there that says 265. If somebody would have called him out right there and then, which he didn't, and he's like, "Oh, I got away with it. I closed the book already, and nobody wants to talk about Too Far to Walk. They're still worried about the treasure story." The sudden clue is in Too Far to Walk. It mirrors the image of 265. 265. Once you break down that 265 and know what 265 is, it unlocks each of the clues from up down to the border. It unlocks every clue. That I don't know. But I believe that the chest was ready at the museum of Forrest Fenn, and the fake one was out there with the coins and everything else that was in it. That's in my opinion. On that, I think the Detroit Museum has the real casket. We call it. I think they call it the casket over there. What we're looking at is Forrest Fenn's replica of what his contents that are in it, and the real ones in the Museum of Detroit already. They've been there for a while. Don't know why. Because you can't put a fake item in a museum. They won't allow that to happen. They're not gonna put a fake replica casket in a museum for people to look at. They don't put fake stuff in a museum. They put real things in it. And the one Jack got is a replica. That's why it wasn't sold. That's why it wasn't sold at the auction at all to anybody, because somebody had to tell the auction that this is not a real chest. This is a replica of it. If you're not selling it, If you're not selling it at all, you could get away with it because you're not selling it to anybody that's fake right now. All bets are still on the table with jars and bells because it holds his autobiography in it. All bets are still on the table. If you didn't throw your cards away and folded, you still got a chance. If you folded your cards already, then the game's over for you. Forrest said, dude, I pay no bets. No bets. No more bets. Remember, it doesn't come out of Forrest Finn's mouth, or if it's not in the book, it's all hearsay. 9 Mile Hole is hearsay. Give me my 9 clues, and then I'll say your 9 Mile Hole's right. Give me your 9 clues. Walk me through your clues. It's because Jack can't do it. Jack cannot walk us through the 9 clues because he doesn't have the 9 clues. All right, have a good night. Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Happy holidays too. I didn't want to go on earlier because other people were on. So I'm like, I ain't going on at all. Once I cracked that 365 and I looked into that number and I followed that 365, there is a place where that's very important. And you will crack the first two clues once you figure out that 365. Remember, read the book slow and then go back and read the book again to see the hints and clues or things that stand out to you that don't seem right. Like, like the 254, you add them up. And so you look up words that stands out to you that you don't know. Just look them up right away and see what that word is. And then relate that word into the poem. And if you relate that word to the poem and you crack the first two clues, you should know where you're supposed to be going throughout the book. Because the book walks you through the clues that are in the poem. If you know what I'm saying. So 265 is a clue that will walk you to is in the poem. And then the poem is a map, and you have to read the poem as a map to get to that spot by using the clues and the hints in the book that would lead you there. Now, if he died and there was no book, then there would just be the poem that we would have. And it'd be much harder to crack by just the poem. The book you do need because it gives you a direct location where you should be at. Oh, yeah, exactly, Treasure Poem. That's awesome, man. That's how I did it, man. Because I when I first got the book, I'll be honest, I'm like, I'm not a good reader, and I don't comprehend things much. That's how I am. I've been through a lot. I got ADHD, I got anxieties, I have a lot of things going on. But when I first read it, real quick, I'm like, this seems like the opposite of how we're supposed to read it. It doesn't make sense. I said there's no chapters at all. So we have to figure out the first chapter in the book. We have to make our own legends. It's like a legend, you're gonna have to make your own chapters. Because you gotta figure out where to start in the book and then where you have to end in the book to figure out where warm water halts. And you can figure out where warm water halts by reading Golden Mort and add up them numbers of 265 that reflects into Too Far to Walk. Oh, yeah, Susie was very helpful with the book. There's no subterfuge at all. There's no tricks. There's no trickery for you to go to jail. It's not on property where you have to worry about government. It's got nothing to do with the court system. There is no government problems at all where the chest is at. None at all. I agree that with Treasure Poem, it'd be almost impossible. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it is probably impossible without the book. because it's the clues to the book that helps you with. It's the hints in the book that leads you to the clues of the poem, which help you out where you're supposed to be. Like page 23 is the first chapter you should be reading to start where your warm water halt is at. Page 23. And your blaze. Your blaze should be in the chapter My War for Me. And that's a long, the problem is that's a long chapter. But that's your blaze. Is in that chapter. The chapters not in order. There's no numbers say chapter 1. They're only in Too Far to Walk. So remember, Too Far to Walk, we have chapters, but in The Thrill of the Chase, we got no chapter. It mirrors the image. We got 265 265 items. We got 265 in Too Far to Walk. It mirrors it. It's the opposite. We have chapters in Too Far to Walk. We don't got chapters in The Thrill of the Chase. I agree. Treasure poem, I agree with you 101%. Because there was no book and he died just with the poem and his treasure box in the location where he died. It'd be impossible almost. It's impossible. The only word that will help you out in a poem, which you could nail it without the book, but it's hard. The only one, there's one word in that whole poem that's more important than other words. One word. It's drawing. 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 You draw cards, and you also draw as an artist or an architect. But drawing, and I give credit to Ben Apple, drawing is the key word to start giving you a location on a map where you're supposed to be. Okay. Everybody has a right and opinion on this show. Everybody does. I don't care if you're in Montana and Glacier National Park or you're in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Everybody has a right because we all still got a shot. There's bells and jars that are out there. And Forrest did state that some people been 200 feet, some people been 50 feet, et cetera, et cetera. Them sound like epoxy items. Because how could all these people be in different type of feet or where the treasure's at when all these people were not at the same location at all? Dell was not in some locations. Stephanie was not in some locations. Epoxy items? Sure. And I don't think there's two chests out there, just to let you know. In my opinion, and this is just in my opinion, if there's two chests out there in the world, not one buried, it's the fake one that the auction house that had it up there, not for sale, and the real one is in Detroit Museum. And the real one been there already. called the casket. It's really called the casket. Like I said, I'll be going out to that spot next year sometime in July or August, maybe. So one of them months. The fake blazes. Have you ever looked up the meaning of buried? The cinnamon of it's buried, and then you got hid. And if you type in hid, you have buried. And if you got buried, you got hid. It's like the opposite. It's like a game. Never said I buried it, but I hid it. I never said I hid it, I buried it. But he never used the word buried. Because if you use the word buried, you could use the word bury and get away with it because it means hidden. But if you use bury around people, they're going to start thinking that you have to dig, which I don't think you had to dig. That's why Forrest didn't like to use that word hid at all because it has double meanings of it. You got hid, and then you could write down hid in the dictionary, and then the synonym of it, which is like the opposite of it, will be buried. And then if you write in the dictionary buried, you have hid. So you got opposite going on. You got a lot of opposites going on in this book right now. It's mirroring an image. Like we got a lot of mirrors going on. Forrest Fenn scrapbooks, a lot of mirrors. We got the two mirrors disc that was in the treasure box. We have a mirror image of his two daughters that's in the book. A lot of things are mirroring together. Correct, treasure poem. Two omegas. Correct. Sometimes Forrest Fenn will put F lowercase when he talked to people, or sometimes he put FF. Then we had one omega, and now we had two omegas. At first we had one omega, like single, and now we got plural, which is two, which is omegas, two different ones. Treasure poem, you are right. We got two omegas. Very important. Very, very important. The one omega will lead you to one area, and the second omega will lead you to the south, the location. Double omegas. And didn't he add the omega in the other book that he had? Not too far to walk, but the other one. I think he added omega. It's a throw to catch a fish with a dry, animate word. It's an even greater thrill to catch a fish with a dry word that is imagine yourself. Yes, Bite Your Eyes. Yes. Yes. It's how you put it. It's how you put it together. It's how, like Forrest said, If the reader knows what he's reading about, that's all that matters. If the reader's understanding what the writer is saying, that's all that matters. That the reader knows. It doesn't matter if anybody else knows. Look at the flies. What are flies are? They're fake. They attract fish. That's what flies are. It makes the fish, the fish, it makes the fish attract the flies. You got to think about the flies. What do the flies? They're fake. You got the fly, you paint them, you got the hook on them, you decorate them. Some are better some days when it's cloudy. Some are better when it's sunny out. You got to remember, Forrest said, who's the fake here? You loved it before you knew it was a fake. But then you find out it's a fake, you didn't love it as much. So who's the fake here? See, in my show, I don't put breaking news and everything else and this and this and that. I mean, to me, man, I'm not that type of person to throw myself out there like that. Like, I don't need to put breaking news. It's done and over with. I had the GPS solved. GPS don't matter where it was at. It's not even part of the poem, GPS. There you go, moisturize. You got to make the fly look as good as possible to catch the real one. Remember Forrest said, you got women that wear lipstick and then fake eyelashes. You're hiding the beauty behind the product. So who's the fake here? I think people ridicule that man too many times already. That man didn't do nothing wrong. It's sad that nobody else could figure it out, and people get frustrated, so they automatically say that it's a fake or this happened and that happened. No, man, it's none of that. I never said it was a fake treasure hunt, but I know that's a replica box jet that was shown to us. That's what I'm trying to say. You loved the product before you bought it, but you didn't like it when you found out it was fake. Yeah, like you use lures to catch fish, like the lure. Hello, Forrest Fenn, the lure. The lure attracts the fish. The fish are the people. It attracts people. The lure, just like the lure, it attracts people, like the fish. But the Homer Brown is not a fish, guys. It's not a fish. And I can't stress that enough to anybody. It's not a brown trout. Forrest said, if I tell you the Homer Brown, you go straight to it. He's right. You go straight to it. Game's over. If he mentions Homer Brown, game over for Mr. Forrest Fenn. Guaranteed the game's over. That's why he couldn't tell you the Homer Brown. He tells you the Homer Brown, you go straight to it. Game's over. Anybody still in the chat? I know it's getting late. It's got to be capitalized. The Homer Brown does got to be capitalized. I can't tell you that. There's a reason for it. If I tell you it, then it's gonna you could go straight to it. I mean, you can't go to it now because it's gone. It's got to be capitalized. Just like school will have to be capitalized, not little s, but big S. Anything that kind of draws attention to it. Let me see how I could put this. Anything that could draw attention to it has to be capital Brown or capital B. And and the Homer Brown. It's definitely not a fish. Your warm water hot should have this. Your warm water hot should have the same cannon in the same area. If not, you're wrong. What you mean an entity? I could answer your question, but I can't answer it bluntly where I'm going to give you the answer. I mean, I could give you everything else right now, but what do you mean by entity? No, I can't. I can't even give you that. That's why the fucking Homer Brown's very important. He can't touch. No, it ain't Joe Brown. I thought of that too because he was also. I know that Sal over there. I did that Joe Brown, which is the lawyer, Joe Brown. Mm-hmm. Molly Brown. No, Molly Brown's in Colorado. Nope, it's not a person. It's not a person. It's not a person. I can't keep going down the whole thing. You're gonna eventually hit it. Eventually, all these questions you're gonna ask, you're gonna hit the right Brown because there's only so many Browns there are. Finny, you're a little Finny, aren't you? I don't even know who you are. Are you Finny? Finny from like the YouTube? Are you Finny? What's his name? No, it's not shit either. No, it's not that at all. It's nothing but your pants being brown and going down a slide. I mean, a brown stain on your pants because you shit on yourself. Got nothing to do with that. No, I don't believe JP's the entity at all. David, do I know you at all? Have I ever seen you into a You ever go live at all, Finny? But in my opinion, the LLC is part of one of us. Yeah, but I don't know if them are facts, man. I don't know. I mean, if you think that you know, that's cool. I like that's pretty cool. Like that's good information. But I don't know. I know it's one of us, the LLC. More than one person. There's more than one person. But it doesn't matter because they don't got the solve. They don't got nothing. The only thing the LLC had is basic is control of the coins and all that after they got it from Jack. So basically, that doesn't really matter who got it. Just say if I was an LLC, which is I'm not, I can't afford my bills here. But if I was LLC, I mean, they're not going to give up their name like that. It doesn't make sense. Dan Bear actually stated other close to Forrest, Fenn, and Jack know that the south of the nine clues that special spot. Yeah, but it's got nothing. I don't believe that's in Yellowstone National Park at all. Because 9 Mile Hole don't fit none of the clues. That's how I'm telling you. It doesn't state none of the clues. They don't bring you the 9 Mile Hole through the book at all. The book will tell you exactly where you have to go. We don't even have a solve at all. We had Dan Barbaresi stated, others close to Forrest Fenn stated, keyword stated, close to Forrest Fenn, and Jack knows the solve of the nine clues. If Jack got the solve of the nine clues, then it would not harm nobody to tell us the nine clues. So I don't believe that. Yeah, and I got an Irish uncle. The only thing I'm doing is following what the book's telling me. Like all this right here is cool. Like if everybody got some good information that's in the chat room, that's awesome. Like if you guys could find out facts, that's cool. But all my facts are coming from what the man wrote in the book. The man said it didn't come out of my mouth. Most than likely, it's not true. I don't know. I don't think so. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got this terrible cold. Does the book say it was 9 Mile Hole? That's in Dan Barbaresi book. I don't got the book. Does it say that it's 9 Mile Hole? If Dan Barbaresi book states 9 Mile Hole in it, does it state nine clues? That's what I want to know. And if it doesn't, then you could keep the book. You only got a story without an ending. If I do go off camera a lot, it's because I suffer from diabetes and I'm almost type 1 diabetes, so I do use the washroom a lot. So don't mind me at all. Excuse me. You know what? Idaho Buffalo. I believe he did just to protect his ass. Just because where the chest was at, I think he hired a criminal lawyer just to protect his ass wherever the treasure box was at. That's the only. And I saw you write that already before. And when you wrote that, and I told myself he got a criminal attorney in case they would have came after him in the location that it was at. He just wanted to back himself up so he didn't get in any type of trouble. I would have done the same thing just to have my eggs in a basket. I think I would have got a criminal lawyer too. Yes, Sarah Davis does know FF Spot. But Sarah Davis ain't worried about the spot. Let's just put it that way. No, she can't press charges because it's not on her property. It's not in her national park. Good question, Treasure Poem. I don't know. I can't say yes or no. But it sure wasn't a GPS spot at 9 Mile Hole, I'll tell you that much. Just because where the treasure lied at, Idaho Buffalo. Just because in Forrest Fenn's book, when he uses the word Borders bookstore, that he took a trip to Borders bookstore. That's the reason why for the criminal, just because I would have got one too, and not because he's a kid, man. He don't know much about stuff like that. Me, you didn't have to get a lawyer, but it's just in case it backs you up. Yeah, GPS. What is that? GPS gate or whatever they use. GPS is bullshit. You don't need GPS to figure out where the treasure box is at. Whoever ran that idea of the GPS, whatever. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be. It's Christmas time. Um, Back up and spend money on attorney you don't need. Baffling. Well, Idaho Buffalo, a lot of people don't know their laws. Because it was found in Wyoming, Idaho Buffalo. Forrest said it was found in the state of Wyoming. He never said it was found at 9 Mile Hole or any kind of national park. The man said, don't pay no bets. He said Wyoming. You pay no more bets. That like when you go to the roulette table at the casino and they wave their hand and they say no more bets, you can't put your chip on the table. No more bets. Who said it was found at 9 Mile Hole, Jack Stoof? No, I'm telling you what everybody else is saying. Up, down, left, right, horizontal, vertical, GPS, almost. Come on. Okay, let's put it this way. You put it in the Homer Brown. Put below the Homer Brown. Below is down. So you kind of got an angle. There's only one way you could go at the Homer Brown, and it's the road that leads you away from the Homer Brown. That's why people cracked the first two clues and went past the treasure box. It's because they never followed the poem how it should have took them. I'm not naming people Idaho Buffalo. I'm not going to do that. I'm not like that. I don't do things like that. That's just not my personality. I respect you. You respect my decisions, and that's how I work in my chat room. That's all. That's all. We could talk about everything, and we could talk about ourselves. It just, I don't have answers to some things, and I'm sorry, I don't like it. I wish I did, but GPS don't matter. You don't need GPS to find a treasure. I'm just trying to keep it real with you, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Did Fenn say to roll over some logs? I don't know. I don't Buffalo. I have no idea if he said roll over some logs. I think he didn't he say turn over some logs to see if there's nourishment underneath it, where like he did in my war for me. Okay, so what are you trying to say about the logs, Idaho Buffalo? Damn, it's 26 degrees out. It's hard to fling your dying self over a buried chest. Okay. I mean, I got respect. I don't know either way. So, I mean, like I said, you have a right to your opinion. We all do. And that's what I like about the chat. We all got opinions and we can bounce ideas off each other, and that's what it's about. Okay, but Idaho up Buffalo. Can I ask you a question, man? Can I ask you a question, Idaho Buffalo, if you don't mind? When my war for me, he chipped over a grave marker. He never chipped over a log. So how you feel about the grave marker? And how you feel about how you feel about let me ask you a question. Let's get serious here. How you feel about a grave marker, a headstone, and how you feel about a helicopter that's in the story, and how do you feel about making his way back to that waterfall that he wanted to go back to? Idaho Buffalo. That's not what I'm trying to say, man. See that's why it's got to work both ways. The conversation, it can't be one way, man. It's got to work both ways. And Jack said my word for me had nothing to do with his fine. That's fine. I'm not worried about Jack. Idaho Buffalo. Not worried about what Jack is saying. Jack is now a figment of an imagination. He don't exist. Fenn left something in Vietnam. Fenn left something in Vietnam. And how do you know that he left it in Vietnam? Jack was paid 10,000 for finding the chest. Remember, from a better that said that the chest was not real. And once again, we're getting it from Jack. Did we get this from Forrest Fenn's mouth? No. I never read the Codex. National News Jack Stoof was paid 10,000 K for debunking the chest. What does that mean? I still don't believe anything what Jack says because if it didn't come out of Forrest's mouth, I don't believe anything of anything. Honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but here we go. And this is just from my opinion. Starting from down and up. You use Jack 4 times in the last like 8 like sentences. Jack said this, Jack said that, Jack. If it came out of Jack's mouth, I don't believe it. I don't believe it whatsoever. So, Idaho Buffalo, where did Jack find the treasure box? Why? Why? No, I'm asking you. You're not listening. You said debunking it was fake by proving it was real. Found Rob, he is not saying why. Just say where you found it. Why would somebody break into your house if you say where you found it at? It doesn't make sense? Because he don't have the 9 clues don't fit wherever everybody keeps saying it is. No, listen what I'm trying to tell you, Idaho Buffalo. Why Jack can't give the 9 clues out where he found it and then it's over with. Done and over with. Oh, it's because hold on. It's because you don't want to go. They don't want people in that area because they'll mess up the, the vegetation of the area. That's not true. That's not true. They broke only into Finn's house because they thought Fenn had the treasure chest at his house. They're not going to break into his house to find the 9 clues. He don't even got 9 clues, so why would anybody break in his house? No, but I would give up the lottery ticket numbers because we all get the lottery ticket numbers. And if you look at your lottery ticket number and you didn't win, you throw it in the garbage. That's normal. He doesn't got the 9 clues at all. He reverse engineered it. He went straight to the area. He never did the poem, how the poem was worked. So if the poem starts up here and the box is down here, he went straight to that box. He never followed the clues up here. He went straight to the spot and knew what he was looking for. He don't need the 9 clues if he knows what he's looking for. He backdoored it, man. And I'm not gonna be mad at him. Congratulations, you didn't have to figure out all the clues, but you don't got no 9 clues. You show me 9 clues in front of me or anybody else in the chase, and then I'll be like, I'm wrong, man. I'll buy you a beer. I don't even care about that story about the LRC 32 because it doesn't bother me at the end of the day. I just move on with my life. That's fine, Idaho Buffalo. That's fine. I mean, we all have a right to our opinions. Maybe Jack found the eternal chest. I believe that treasure poem. I believe that. I really do believe that. Yeah, it leads you to the exact spot. When you get to the 9 clue, like Forrest said, it's the most important clue because you got the treasure chest. Because they ask him, what's the most important clue? He said, the most important clue is the one that got the treasure chest. Idaho Buffalo, you don't got to recheck every message, man. I don't know why you do that. If you could explain to me why you do that, I appreciate it. Because to me, I don't like that, man. Yes, a bridge, and you don't got to get wet to find the treasure box at all. The location of where the chest is will have a bridge that you could go over the water to get to that spot that you need to get it. You don't got to go on the Madison River that is raging at any time of the year. The river crossing is not necessary whatsoever. I'm telling you, Lily. I'm telling you. You had to cross the bridge, and if you look up. I think it's Too far to walk? Is it too far to walk? No, I think it's in the Thrill of Chase. Hold on a minute. I think I had that wrong earlier. Let me check it out real quick. I think it's in here. Maybe it's in the Too Far to Walk book. Yeah, it's in Too Far to Walk then. There's a picture where he's by, like these kids by a bridge. I think. Yeah, it's like Too Far to Walk. There's a picture of him like by a bridge in one of his books. He's sitting next to it. Like you see like his uniform on, and then it could be one of the, even a scrapbook picture. He got a uniform on, and he's kneeling down, and he looks like he's in Vietnam by a bridge. I can't. It's not in this book. I don't think. I have to go through it a lot more tomorrow. But I think it's Too Far to Walk, where he's got a picture of him, and he's by a bridge, and he's holding something. I don't remember what he's holding. But bridge is very important because you don't got to get wet at all. You could just walk over the bridge. You don't got to. You go over the water, not through the water and in the woods. The Amazon. I just don't remember where he's by a bridge. I can't remember what it is. It's getting too late to even run my brain anymore. But like I said, a bridge is very important. But yeah, everybody still got a shot at them bells and jars. That's why I said it'd be cool. It'd be cool if them 9 bells and jars were in the park. Like the bells and jar. That would be cool, but I don't think the man would have even done that. But it'd be pretty cool, you know. Sarah didn't get involved because it's not on her land. Yeah, that's what he said. He did say he buried 3, and he said that vividly. I buried them things 3-4 feet deep. There's no tricking in that. He said that 3 to 4. He buried them. But you got to remember, if you use the word buried like he does, buried means hid, and hid means buried. So he could have hid them 3 to 4 feet. He could have hid them. Because remember, if you look up the word bury, it means hidden. If you look up hid, it means buried. He used his shovel. Okay. Okay, then I did not know that. Okay. Hey, I mean, I would bury the bells too in case somebody ever finds one, and then my whole story is screwed up. So yeah, he could have used it. He said shovel. Then, I mean, look up the meaning shovel. If I was FF, I would have called it off and give the chest to my church after letting my family have a crack at it. Yeah, you know what? I think, like, remember when Forrest said it? They asked him, is anybody searching for your treasure? Is your family searching for your treasure? And Forrest said, I think Shiloh went out there looking. He didn't tell me at all, but Yeah, remember? That's why I believe Charlotte don't know the spot, man. I don't think it's no family member knows the spot. Remember, he said he wouldn't even tell his own mother if she was alive. That's why Shiloh don't know it. The whole family don't know it. No one knows it. The lawyer don't know it. None of them know it. When Forrest said, "I'm the only one that knows," then he's the only one that knows. If it came out of the man's mouth, then that's what we go. That's what we go after. The man said it himself, man. That's why I said leave that family alone, man. They don't got nothing to do with this. They don't know nothing. My family don't know everything about me, and I'm pretty sure everybody don't know everybody about their family out here. And like think about it. There's some things I would not tell my family. There's some things a lot of people won't tell their family. That's my opinion too. Yeah, everybody has an opinion. I tell people, spade means shovel. Yeah, if you look up the word shovel means spade. If you think about spade, you think about playing cards. You think about playing cards, you think Maverick playing cards. So a spade could be a lot of things. A spade could be an arrowhead. No, they were never put in an FF museum. They were never. I don't think they were ever put in an FF museum. It, uh, Once everybody sees it one time, they wouldn't want to go see it again. That's why if it's at a museum that holds a lot of history in it, then eventually museums will always want to just keep people will just keep coming, just because there's a lot of items there. Not just because of Forrest, is that people will still come in the museum. Now, an FF museum, it wouldn't make much money. Now, if you got an exhibit like the Titanic's come in, and then boom, and people are like, oh, we got to go to Chicago see the Titanic or whatever, like wherever you're at. Like you want to bring enough attention to it. Now you're telling me if you say DB Cooper, then we probably got a then we got a big discovery. Yeah, but King Tut's is more known than Forrest Fenn. Like you got to see it the other way around. Yeah, but okay, well, that's only you. Like, how many will go? What us 1,000 searchers left will go. That's about it. We will. It's not. It wouldn't be popular no more unless there's a story behind it. No, okay. Oh my God, I almost been on live for about 10 more minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up. Of course, we're all chasing a treasure box. That was 10 by 10. That's all we were doing. The story behind it. Okay. What about we don't ever get to look at the treasure box again? The one that was over there at Heritage Auction. What about if we never get to see that again? Because I want to take pictures of all four sides of that chest that was at that auction house. I just don't want the front and one of the sides and not the back or the other side. I wanted to take pictures of the front, sides, and back and compare it to the one that's in Detroit Museum and see which one's the real one, which the Detroit would be the real one because they can't put fake items out in their museum at all. They can't put replicas in their museum. So they know that the real one's over there in Detroit and the fake one, that's why they never went in auction because you can't sell a fake item at an auction because you're getting a lot of trouble for that. And Heritage Auction ain't going to sell a fake item like that. So if it's a replica, it would have been behind a glass. That's why no pictures was taken of that treasure box at Heritage Auction, of the back at all. There's no pictures. I think one of the sides don't even have a picture on one of the sides. Yeah, probably. Probably. But yeah, I had fun. I had fun coming down here and just talking and chatting. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Rainy, are you TL? Who is TL? Yeah, 22 turquoise beads. I know that 22. 22 beads in the bracelet. So we got 22 beads in the bracelet plus the bracelet, which is 23. Oh, I have no idea about that Idaho buffalo. I say no too. I say no, it will not show up there. See, man, it's fun just to talk in here and throw some ideas out, man. That's all I'm doing, man. There's no clickbait on my side at all, man. Mine comes from a fact from a book. If it's not coming from the book, then it's hearsay. Yeah, but I'm going to start heading off here. I've been on about 2 hours and 47 minutes, and I appreciate everybody coming on, talking, giving out their ideas. I just want to get a shout out once again to Troy for that helpful information that led me to that 265 that's in the Too Far to Walk. It mirrored the image, which is pretty cool. I loved it. Um, and I just want to say to Troy, thank you again. And looking forward to more of your videos out there. I appreciate what you do for the community and you throw it out there. You keep it real. And it's awesome. So I want to thank everybody and have a happy holidays, happy New Year's, and I hope everything goes good and stay warm and safe and all the positive, keep chasing, keep swinging for the fence. Eventually, one's gonna go. And like I said, you guys enjoy your holidays and you take care. God bless you all. Have a good one. I don't like why I must go. That's fine, Treasure Plum. You don't gotta like anybody, but Troy's my friend. I think I he's a good guy. I like him, and that's all that matters. So have a good one.